go live. Come on. Okie dokie. I am live. Gonna wait for a couple of moments before we get started on this incredible episode that we're about to review, Rosa. I've got a lot of talking points here, guys. So please feel free to comment down below your entire opinions of this entire episode, because I want to say this so much, but I'm so glad that we finally have another prehistorical episode in Doctor Who. But this is unlike any other historical episode that I've seen in Doctor Who. This is probably one of the best episodes to cover history and probably the past. This is probably the best episode that you can guarantee yourself to learn so much about the past, because pretty much going into this episode, I did not know much about Rosa Parks. I really just went in there not knowing who Rosa Parks was, but to be honest, I knew straight away that I was blown away by the sheer amount of attention to detail. The attention to detail in this episode was just superb. Again, I'm still waiting for a couple of people to join. I can see Charlie again. You seem to be a regular on this live stream for a lot of the points. Anyway, I'm gonna try and make this live stream again. I tend to talk a lot, and so if I get, basically, here's the story. Here's the story that this live stream is gonna work out. If, like, say, if it goes over an hour, then maybe I'll stop, because my colleague at work has just given me the day off yesterday, and now today's my day off. But he kind of says, "Can I have you in later on today?" And it's like, do I have to? Please, I wouldn't want to do this live stream. So I'm making sure that this live stream review is the first priority of today, and then afterwards I can deal with whatever goes around with the rest of my life. I mean, to be honest, when I get a day off, when you say you get a day off, well, you kind of don't. You get like the morning day off, and then in the afternoon you're back into work. So it's not really a day off. It's more like a half day off, honestly. So I kind of feel a bit ripped off, really. But the main priority is trying to get this this live stream review done first. Then I can worry about what goes after anything else. But no, honestly, I think, yeah, like I said, they handled this episode very well. One of the things that I loved straight away about this series, there's no pre-title sequences. They're all straight into the title sequence and straight into the story. No faffing around with title sequences, and I like that. It's not setting up to like something amazing. It's just having the title sequence. You're being thrown in there with like, oh, what's no pre-title sequences again. If it doesn't happen for a fourth time, then I think we won't get any pre-title sequences, because the thing is, when you have a pre-title sequence and it's like, you know, it's building up to the episode, but you kind of get the feeling like, oh, maybe I know what's going to happen and all that. But yeah, I found that was pretty strange, really. No pre-title sequences, which was, I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage, really, because you can say that pre-title sequences can work. I mean, the little beginning bit where Rosa Parks got onto the bus and they got removed from the bus by that driver. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was in 1943. I think it was at the start of the episode, with that beautiful jazz music as well in the background. Again, the music in this episode, my God, was sensational. I loved the beginning music, the jazz music. It felt really retro. And not only towards the end of the episode, we had that amazing soundtrack of Rosa being arrested, and no one hardly said a thing. It was pretty much played all throughout that entire scene and the ending credits. There's never been an episode like that. There's never been an episode so strong with its music and with its history that this episode had to have a special ending. It couldn't have just the normal Doctor Who theme tune at the very end. It had to have that theme, because otherwise it's not knowing about the history and the legacy of Rosa Parks. And like I said, I did not know about Rosa Parks even going into this episode. I went in not knowing who she was. But you know so much about her, even if you haven't read the book about her or even read facts about her. You just know instantly that you know who she is and what she stood for back in the 1950s. I can safely say that Rosa made me very uncomfortable. Why? The racism was thrown in right in my face. Now that I know that it was part of human history, that can't be ignored. But I just really, I can't seem to like that at all. Well, I think you got to understand. Again, I'm going to move on to the the racism in this episode, of course. So let's just start off with the whole story was set in Montgomery. I think that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I pronounce any of this wrong. I think Montgomery. I think that's how you pronounce it in Alabama in 1955. And Vianney Robertson, who played Rosa Parks, she was exceptional. She's actually been in Doctor Who before. This wasn't her first time in Doctor Who. She did a character, which I can't remember what her character names was called, but I believe she played a part in remember 42 in David Tennant's era with I think it was series 3. There was an episode called 42, and she was one of the characters in that episode. And now she's playing the lead role as Rosa Parks in this episode. And her performance was just exceptional, perfect. She pretty much played Rosa Parks down to each moment in the timeline so perfectly and so exquisitely that it's just one of the best performances I've seen from a historical character. I mean, we've had loads of historical characters, William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, and many more. But I think Rosa Parks, especially for now, Series 11, Rosa Parks is now an official character in Doctor Who's history in the past. And this is one of the episodes which was going to be a testing point for the entire series, whether it could deliver the racism across, but not being insulting. It kind of sounded like it was very, very insulting racism. But I think it was deliberate because back then it was so harsh. The racism was so harsh back then. So they had to make sure that they got every single little bit of detail down to the nail in this episode, even down to the racism. I know Ryan got called a Negro and, he got slapped on the face and he was treated very unfairly. I know Ryan was really, really affected in that way. He kind of felt restrained that he couldn't pretty much do anything. He couldn't help anybody. He was pretty much restricted to not help anybody because of his color and his race and what he stood for. He didn't stand for anything back then. Just colored people were pretty much untreated fairly back then. But no, I thought that the racism, for me, it was harsh, but I can forgive it though because it played to the episode's strengths. And when you have racism that is strong to the episode, that is prior to the episode, then I can agree that it's also teaching parents and teaching their kids about this racism of how back then in the 1950s, it was so difficult back then for people to really understand the whole concept about racism and how you should be treating everyone fairly with respect. And it's pretty much just this entire episode is one big learning curve for everyone to learn about racism and to be aware of it. Because still in our society, we are still affected by racism still to this very, very day. So it's a very difficult thing to tackle in a Doctor Who episode because you don't want this episode to be thrown with racism and to be corrupted with it. But it wasn't. It was one or two little bits of racism here and there, but the whole episode coped with it very, very well. And this episode just played out so well. Great attention to detail, great detail to the history of the 1950s. And they made the whole setting of it so authentic and so retro and unique and like it's been set in present day, but it's so retro in a way that it kind of feels like it's set in the past, which it is. Well, obviously it isn't. Well, technically it isn't because it's set in the present day, but then again, it kind of feels like the past. I don't know. I'm getting myself mixed up here. Let's have a look at your comments. The writers weren't afraid to tackle the racism subject head on at all, which I think is greatly done. It gave them a chance to teach younger viewers about that era. And Charlie says it just proves the point that people, black or white, have rights. They who they are, and you can't change that. I read a wait, hang on. Dylan Slim. I read that so many kids were asking many questions to their parents about the situation history, and the parents loved being able to teach them more about it. Yeah, you're right. Because not only it teaches young viewers about the racism in this day and age of how, still at a very, very young age, you may not get your head around of what racism is, but this episode is more like an insult, not an insult, but an insight of how racism can be tackled. And just maybe we should be a bit more grateful, really, because back then, the racism back there was 10 times worse than it is today in our society. So there's a lot of praise and a lot of ongoing racism at the moment. But I thought that they handled the racism with care, and they restricted some of the most harshest comments of racism, but it played out to the elements and the episode to its strengths. And plus, I thought that for me, Ryan and Yaz, they handled the racism very, very well. I know Yaz was called a Mexican lady, but she took that on really, really well. None of them were completely restricted or baffled or pretty much scared or afraid. They were really confident in going forward and moving on from this racism to really tackle the whole episode and to help Rosa Parks get onto that bus and make sure that history wasn't changed. So I think that they handled this episode really well. Even with the racism involved, they still handled the episode fantastically, I must say. Because racism is difficult to do. When you are stuck in an episode with full of racism around you, where everyone's judging you and stereotyping you, and you've got all of these other colored people around you, and especially Martin Luther King. I was wanting this day and age to happen. I had a dream. Yes, quote intended. I had a dream that I wanted Martin Luther King to appear in a Doctor Who episode sometime like in the next few years. But I can safely say that we've seen Martin Luther King in a Doctor Who episode. For me, it kind of makes my day a bit because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge supporter of Martin Luther King. I respect his views. I respect every single word he says because not only he's true, but also Rosa Parks is true as well. Because I was so happy to see Martin Luther King. The thing is, the guy who played Martin King looked so realistic to Martin Luther King, even before he made this speech about I had a dream and he this. But no, I thought it was a very, very strong episode. Very, very high, heavily attention to detail. And I love that the American accents were very distinctive because every scene was packed full of history. And it's like this entire episode, again, feels like one big, massive history lesson. And the cinematography was, again, fantastic in an entire way that the angles and the direction actually helped this episode to succeed even better than it could have done because the camera angles and the cinematography gave us such of a high quality story that it kind of really gave us the episode that we wanted to watch, the episode that we were waiting for such a long time, heavily concentrated on history. There was no sci-fi elements, which was, I think, for once in my life, although this is a science fiction show, I think for once I can agree that there wasn't any sci-fi elements, only the Doctor and the TARDIS, but there were a few sci-fi elements in between Carrasco's character with his weapons and his past, but also his future as well. But I'm glad that they didn't heavily so focus on the sci-fi elements because that would have made this episode more of a mishmash of sci-fi and pure historical, but it wouldn't work, honestly. So I'm glad that they heavily focused on the history and making sure that history had to stay the same, but they had to solve out these minor tweaks that Carrasco put in place just so that this event doesn't happen, so that Rosa's arrest doesn't happen. And yet, this entire thing about the whole society changing because of Rosa got arrested started the boycott revolution, and segregation was expelled and neutralized a year later. So basically, if that didn't happen, if that event didn't happen, then racism will still be going on here in this day, and probably it could be even worse than it was back then. So it's definitely one of the things that Doctor Who does so well is tackling and saving history. But this was unlike any other episode where you try and save history. It's more about that Carrasco didn't really want to kill anybody. He just put minor tweaks into what could happen to a big massive effect on the overall history, onto the overall impact of that history. So I thought he did a fantastic job. Mm. Mm. Ah, Dylan Glover. I think I might have seen you on the group chat, probably. I don't know. You kind of look familiar. I know that I know I have you on Facebook, but I didn't know that was you. I know you did YouTube, didn't you? But did you stop? I think that they referenced Obama once, and then Ryan and Yasmin were talking about saying the black president. As you may know, Obama is the world's first black president, of course. But no, this was a defo strong episode for all of the characters, because I thought, let's start off with the bad guy first, Carrasco. Although he basically had elements which he couldn't kill people because of his neutralizer somewhere. I can't remember what it was called. I know I have it here somewhere. It's definitely here somewhere. Just give me a moment. Yeah, that was it. He had a neutral restrictor, which means he couldn't kill or injure any living thing, which was a defo plus, because it kind of gave us the fact that we needed to see something different instead of a character being killed off or somebody being killed to change Earth's history, because that's been done before. We needed to see something from a bad guy who couldn't kill, and he was a prisoner on Storm Cage of an intergalactic prison, but also he was released from that prison. And so it kind of gave us the reaction that something else needs to happen in this episode in order for everything to go wrong. But honestly, I think if I had to explain this entire episode in probably one statement, they did everything wrong in history, but they did it for the right reasons. They made sure that Rosa got arrested, although was wrong in their case, but they did it for the right reasons. And so for me, it kind of gave us the kind of idea that although you don't want to see these people suffer in history, it's already happened. And if you change even a slight little bit of that, it could even change the entire universe, can change the world. And I like that statement from Jodie Whittaker at the end. Rosa Parks didn't just change the world, she changed the universe. And that gives Rosa Parks so much praise, not just as a historical figure, but also as an icon in this known universe, because I bet everyone would have heard of Rosa Parks. I mean, I certainly did, but I didn't read up about her. But it kind of gives us the fact that, like Obama, like you said, Jolly, President Obama, the first ever black president in the United States, thinks about all this and how they're such of an icon to live up to. And they've done all these different things in their lifetime to secure equality and to stop segregation. And I just find that when you watch a historical episode like that and you know the history of how strong racism is and how you tackle it and how you execute it in an episode where you have to let history take its course, even if you don't really want to see it, even if you don't want to watch it, you still watch it. and it's still so beautiful. I thought the acting was superb from everyone in here, from every single character. They played out such a fantastic performance, everyone. I was glad that Jodie Whittaker didn't have much to do in this episode because I really wanted this episode to pretty much feel like an equal sharing of Graham, the Doctor, Yasmin, and Ryan, which it certainly was, though, because everyone had a job to do. Everyone had a part to play in this episode. There was not a character that didn't feel left out, apart from that Jake the Snake Blake, who was, of course, the bus driver, which I must say that he did act pretty much like a dick, but obviously everyone acted like a dick back in those days. The police officers were cruel and not nice. They were pretty much ruthless and aggressive to anyone who was like acting very oddly, and they would just arrest people for, even if a black person touches a white person, that's still as a crime offense, and you could be put in prison for that. And Ryan did not know that at the time. And his reaction, though, at the start of the episode, where he was trying to give the glove back to that woman, and the husband slapped him on the face. I heard the connection on it, and it was so powerful that Ryan had to react instantly, because it's like when you slap him and when you're full of anger, you can't do nothing but react and get back at him. But he knows how to control himself, even from Grace, from episode 1. He knows for a fact from his nan that he knows that don't give the other person the motive and don't give the other person the excuse. And he's right in that sense, because if he did punch that guy, then honestly, I don't think Ryan would have been in this episode at all. He would have been arrested. This episode would have been completely different. So he was very, very lucky to get away with it. And especially Yaz as well, because I thought these two characters, Yaz and Ryan, again, racism was definitely a thing, and they kind of felt like they had to hide away from the entire episode, but they didn't. They came out of the shadows. They had to hide here and there just to get away from the police officers because they were tracking them. But I thought that they handled the episode very, very well, and they made sure that everyone had a great part to play. I love Graham again. My word, is it just me, or is Graham getting so used to this TARDIS team, getting so used to being a fantastic companion? I absolutely. For me, Graham is fantastic. I love Graham. I had a worry before the series started that we weren't going to learn so much from these characters. I pretty much think that we weren't going to get any character development on them at all. But my word, Graham is so realistic. He's pretty much that one type of adult who you can trust, who has all of these amazing facts. He loves to live his life as a bus driver, and he likes to look after Ryan. He has a priority, he has a duty, and he has so much authority. But his comic relief, though, in the end, when he likes to make a joke or makes something so funny so that the audience can laugh, it's just so likable. He is such of a likable character. You can't ignore the fact that Graham is probably one of the best characters and probably the most consistent character throughout this entire 3 episodes, because there was just so much attention to detail to Graham. Because, of course, Ryan was majorly developed in episode 1. Episode 2, not so much, but episode 3, again, real good development. But Graham, no, every single episode, he has just developed into such of a interesting and so fascinating character. He has that playfulness, as well as the restricted personality of not getting angry at things, but also he's quite sarcastic and in a way quite serious as well. So he has a lot of elements to his character, which makes him such a very diverse character. Although he can kill a vibe, like, maybe it's a bomb. Don't kill the vibe, Graham. No, but he does have a tendency to look on the bad side of things, but also he kind of looks to a good way of how to solve those problems. And that's where Yaz comes into play. Yasmin, for me, was fantastic all throughout, because she needed some development, because episode 1 she got some development, episode 2 very, very little. But this episode though, she was superb. And I thought that the direction of her character, and of course her character development, was just spot on. It was just enough character development for us to get intrigued into Yaz's personality, on who she is and how she comes across as a crime solver who works as a police officer dealing with crimes on a day-to-day basis, but knowingly that she has all of these amazing skills to work out how this operation is going to go, if we are going to get Rosa Parks to get arrested, so for history to take its course. She does an amazing job to keep history in an exact moment. She gets Rosa Parks out of the building on time, and she does all of this amazing crime work, which is just really good, just to see her doing something, seeing her in action and seeing her talking more about what she believes in. And I think that is always one of the biggest character developments that you can see in a character. When you are told the backstory of a certain character, you know that there is so much development behind that character. And Yaz, for me, she definitely believed that what Rosa Parks did in this episode, she did it for the whole course, for her life, and for every other person who respected Rosa Parks as an icon, as a hero to Black people. She was an icon to everyone. And Yaz felt very, very privileged to meet her for the first time ever, but also knowing that in her mind, she's actually helped Rosa Parks for the better. She's actually saved history to let Rosa Parks become the major icon that she is today. So for me, Yaz has definitely had a lot of improvement on her character. She's been fantastic. I'm just going to go over just a few little bits. Yeah, I like the teamwork. The teamwork was very, very good from everyone. I thought on how to solve the problem of how to deal with all of these situations of this Carrasco character, who I thought was very, very good overall. He was such a bad guy. Well, what was I going to say again? No, he wasn't bad. He wasn't terrible. He was sneaky. He was smart. He was clever. He was sly. He was just that one manipulative bad guy that he kind of covers himself in his shadow, which for me makes his character overall so disturbing and so distinctive. He hides in his shadows to keep himself away from trouble, because he knows for a fact that he can't kill anybody, but he can do minor things to history, which can lead to a big and massive effect and could really disrupt the course of history. So he's also a time manipulator as well. Although being on this storm cage prison and kind of suffered his time for killing a load of people, you kind of get the feeling that he's done so much in his life, but surely sure enough, he should have killed Rosa Parks off by now. But no, he didn't need to. He had that little, it was like a little mark on his wrist, which kind of, when he went to go and grab the doctor and strangle her, he knew that the thing on his wrist, excuse me, was obviously going to cause him so much pain that he couldn't really do anything. So it's basically like, if you try and kill somebody, it's like the neutralizer was trying to restrict Carrasco from ever, killing anybody. And I thought that was fantastic overall. Again, the police officers, again, were causing many offenses in this episode, but I thought that they handled the episode very, very well. Great attention to detail. Everyone in this episode just felt so real. And I don't know if you know what I mean, but they felt so real. Like, if you couldn't forget about this episode as it's been said in the past, you could probably say that this entire episode is probably one of the best characterized episodes of the series, because every character in this is there is so much attention to detail. And I keep on saying that because there is And it's such a big, massive message in this entire episode to really get that point across that everyone in this episode feels so real. And history, it's like every single scene feels like that history is taking its course solely focused on those moments in time where you want to make sure that history take its course in its way, but you don't make it like a dangerous situation that disaster could happen in history and history could change pretty much. No, but I think I'm repeating myself way too many times that there is so much attention to detail in this episode. But no, I don't think there's much left to talk about other than that this episode had a lot of great messages. I thought that the writing was fantastic. I can't remember who wrote the episode. I don't know. Was it called Mallory Blackman, if I can pronounce her name right? It might have been her. I think so. And I can't remember the director. It's somebody Mark. Somebody. Oh God, surnames. I can't do surnames. I really can't. But no, I thought Chris Chibnall, he tackled this episode very, very well. And I just want to say about historical episodes in general. I mean, we do have fantastic episodes from the William Hartnell era, which definitely gave us the insight of historical episodes. And I thought the William Hartnell era was pretty much the entire era for historical episodes. And then we had one or two here and there. But historical episodes, they've pretty much been adapted in a way so it kind of suits us. So we are interested in what can happen. I mean, back in the classic series, I know that when the Doctor and the Companion went back in time to a certain time, they changed many bits. So throughout all of that, they could have changed history in a way that it could have been so much disastrous in the classic series. Like for one episode, I think there was one episode which I can't really remember it. I think it was I'm just trying to think of it now. The Master Man Dragaway, if you can remember that episode, I think it was set in Italy and it was set back in the past. But something happened back then in that episode, and I kind of get the feeling that every single classic episode, when something dangerous in history happens, you try and solve it. But in a way, it's like it's adapted and changed completely. So does that mean that the entire world is changed forever because of these certain things that happened in the classic series? But I don't know, because all of it's very timey-wimey stuff. But no, I thought that the historical elements were very much synthetic throughout this episode, pretty much down to the roots of racism, segregation, but also knowing that it's the 1950s, there is so much restrictions on other things other than color, race. There's also gender as well, and same-sex relationships. Like you see Graham saying, "Oh, this is my grandson," who's Ryan, who everyone kind of feels like, "What? No, I don't know where your feathers are from." And I like the accents a lot. I thought that every single American in this place was a bit way too restricted and a bit harsh on the racism, of course, but also gave this entire episode something to really think about. And I know that I'm keep on referring to the racism because the racism was a big, massive talking point of this episode. I love the cinematography. I love the writing. I love the costumes. The costumes were really good. And the whole setting of it just felt so realistic. And I really wanted to, obviously, I know when Graham was saying, like, "Oh, can we meet Elvis?" And then the Doctor was like, "Oh, I gave my mobile phone to Elvis. I shouldn't have done that." No, but I don't really know what to say, really. I think this entire episode, really, after watching it once, twice, and then for a third time, I kind of get the feeling that this episode, I mean, I'm lost for words, really. I can't pretty much say so much about this episode. I know I spent about ages and ages and ages and ages talking about the woman who fell to earth and also the ghost monument because there was just so much attention to detail there. But in this episode, I know I've been probably speaking for about 35 minutes, but I don't think there's much I need to go on. I think I've pretty much repeated myself that there's so much attention to detail. History is pretty much such of an important aspect in Doctor Who that we need that different diversity instead of every single episode being set in the future. And I see a recurring pattern. Remember in series 10 where you had the pilot, then we had Smile, a future episode, then we had Thin Ice, which was a historical episode, and then we went back to Knock Knock, which was in the present day, and then we went to the future in space, and then we went back into the past with Extremis. So it kind of gives me the feeling that they are basing all of these recurring elements of where time is being situated in the past, present, or the future. Kind of gives us the feeling that this recurring pattern is continuing, like with Series 10 and with Series 11. So you had the woman who fell to Earth. Well, thing is, I keep on getting mixed up. It's because it's like the woman who lived. That was in Series 9. But I keep on getting that mixed up with the woman who fell to Earth. So that was set in the present day. The next one, the Ghost Monument, was set in the future. And now Rosa was set in the past. The next episode, again, the alchemies of, I really do not know. The title is oblivious to me. I really do not know. But I can say that it's another episode that really tackles people's fears of spiders. Because, to be honest, many people are so scared of spiders in this day and age that even from the one little sight of a spider on any TV screen could really spook out anybody. And I know that it could be like a recreation of the Planet of the Spiders story from John Pertwee's era. But no, I think they're going to make these spiders so much deadlier and so much creepier and so much unusual than any other spider that you'll ever see. I know there were space tarantulas on Kill the Moon in that episode in Series 8, but that's not the same. I think for me, I like the idea of the spiders and you're so terrified. It's having all these phobias of spiders and how you can react to them and how could the audience react for people who have phobias of spiders. You know, it could be a really fantastic episode. I really cannot wait for the next one. But no, honestly, I think, yeah, like I said, people are terrified of spiders, but people will still watch you though because it is Doctor Who and they like to make ordinary things like spiders and they like to really change it in a way that nothing has ever been done on Doctor Who before. I also have to mention that Jodie Whittaker, she was fantastic again. She wasn't really that involved, which I must say was a great plus in this episode because it gave a more time to focus on Rosa's character, but also gave us more time to focus with Graham, with Yaz, and with Ryan. That was very, very good. But I thought that the Doctor, her personality was exceptional again. I loved the face-to-face confrontation with Carrasco. He was pretty much so non-negotiated with the Doctor. You can see the dynamic between both of them. The confrontation was just down-breaking that he wanted to kill her, but he knew he couldn't. And I liked how Jodie Whittaker threw his stuff and the guy accidentally blasted his technology away, which means he couldn't really get off the planet and go off back into a different time zone. He was pretty much stuck. And I like that little bit where the Doctor's crushed on his vortex manipulator, which meant he really couldn't go anywhere. He was stuck in the past until that little bit at the end where Ryan zapped him and he disappeared back into the future. And I like that little bit at the end. It's like, get in there, Ryan. Nice one, Ryan. He was like talking to himself. And you know, there's a saying, when you talk to yourself, there's a sign of madness. And right now, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself right now. So it kind of makes me feel, am I a bit mad in a way? I pretty much am in a way. But no, it gave us that insight of the dynamic between Jodie Whittaker and how she can really face up against a threatening opponent like Carrasco. She was fantastic, and how she dealt with it very, very well. And another thing that I liked about Jodie was that when the moment happened when Rosa was arrested, I saw the little glimpse of her just sitting there and not even moving or not even budging at all. I thought that little bit there was just beautiful, because you would obviously expect the doctor probably to stand up and say, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do this." But no, she knows the rules of history, and you know how history can go if the doctor gets involved. But then again, the doctor has got involved with history and how she can sort out the problems, but she knows for a fact that she can't rewrite history, not one line of it. Again, William Hartnell reference, I know. But her face was pretty much so neutral that it kind of gave us the fact that she was giving Rosa Parks that moment of standing up for herself, not giving up her seat for a white passenger, and the police officer being absolutely furious with her. You could see the look and the anger on his face. He was the same driver that threw her off the bus at the beginning of the episode, and now basically it's like Rosa's revenge. It's like, no, I'm not getting off this bus. I'm not getting off my seat. And then the arrest happened, and that little music at the end, that trumpet sound, was groundbreaking, because the music at the very end, that whole song, so beautiful. I don't know if that was Sagun writing that song or doing that music. If it was him doing that whole music, and praise to that guy, because boy, that music was just downbreaking. I think it gave the whole viewers something just to watch and just to not talk, just to be silent and just watch it, and how history just goes on its course. And when that music came on, I was just pretty much just silent all throughout. I didn't want to speak, because I knew that every single scene that went throughout that moment, you couldn't do nothing. You just had to accept it. And it was just the realization that when you change something in the past, you have to let history take its course. You can see the expressions on Graham, on Yaz, and Ryan, and how Rosa, you just met Rosa only a day ago, and then the next day you see her arrested, and you feel a bit guilty that you can't do anything to save her. But you know for a fact that you save her, you change history. Not only it may be beneficial for her and for yourself, but not for the universe, which definitely has a great impact on everyone. When you have a moment like that where you can't do nothing, you have to just accept that history take its course, and that is just one of the most groundbreaking and one of the most special moments that I think Doctor Who Series 11 has ever brought. This episode was just so fantastic. I can't really say much more about it, but honestly, whatever guys you think about this episode, please let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this live stream review, and remember to please subscribe to this channel for more amazing videos. And plus, now I have something to say, that today, the 22nd of October 2018, 2 years ago, on this exact same day, this was the first day where I first started doing YouTube. 2 years ago, in 2016, I started doing YouTube. And for me, as a 2-year-long reigning subscriber, or a YouTuber, whatever, but no, this video is very, very special to me, because not only we were given one of the best episodes of Series 11, probably one of the best historical episodes of the whole century of Doctor Who. This, for me, was very, very special, because today, not only I'm celebrating my 2-year anniversary on YouTube, but also 150 subscribers. Again, doesn't seem like a big achievement. Really doesn't. It kind of seems like one of the most pathetic and weak achievements that I could have on my channel. But honestly, when you look to more higher YouTubers, you think, wow, that guy got 10 million subscribers. I mean, I would have liked how he was. I would have liked to see how he was like say, on 100 subscribers, how he would have been on 100 subscribers. So you see the difference in me having 150 subscribers to people having 10 million or even more subscribers than I do, maybe like 20,000 subscribers, which is just pretty much amazing. Thanks, Dylan. No goal is pathetic. 5 subs is an achievement. And 10,000 or 1,000 is another achievement. No matter what number you hit, it's always an achievement. And I feel like for me being here for 2 years on YouTube, the amazing videos that I've done on YouTube for the last 2 years, I have been so grateful for the amount of support and opportunity and love on the channel. Like, I can't really say one bad thing about my life on YouTube. My life on YouTube is so special. I'm just going through my phone right now, and I want to scroll through some of the episodes. I want to scroll through some of the videos from the last course of the 2 years. I'd like to shout out because I've just seen your comment, Charlie. Alex for president. I'll take that. I'll definitely be president. Perhaps I should be president of Doctor Who. Maybe I should be the Who president. Maybe I'll call myself the president of the known universe of Doctor Who. Maybe I should call myself. Maybe I'll change my name on the channel. Maybe that'll be a good idea. No, but I'm just gonna go through some of the videos I'm absolutely proud of on this channel. Some of the videos that I might have regret, and some of them that I'm very proud that are there on the channel, and they are there to stay. I'm not gonna let any single video on my channel to be deleted just because it was just a horrible video. So firstly, let's start off with the recent ones. I think, for me, one of my favourite ones, Doctor Who Series 11, The Woman Who Fell to Earth livestream review. For me starting doing all these live streams, I needed to get back doing live streams. And I know that was only 2 weeks ago, but that was one of my favourites to do because I knew for a fact that I couldn't waste my time writing a script or finding loads of high quality images on the internet and putting them into a video and edit it all. For me, it just takes way too much time. So I found myself a new way of reviewing things like this, live. And I'm so happy that it works. It works for me and it works for everyone else, because this entire series of me doing this live stream reviews for Series 11 has actually been more of the benefits for me, but also to everyone else, because they can see my honest reactions as I am live right now. So even if I make a mistake, I still keep on going. Even if I've repeated every single statement out there with so much attention to detail in this episode, I kind of get the feeling that you're sick and tired of me repeating myself. But I know for a fact that I can't go back and change it all. I can't go back, after this live stream ended, I can't really edit out all the bits that I say, repeated stuff. All of the things that you hear on this channel are from me and me only, and I can't really change anything, honestly. But no, that was one of my favourite moments. Another video that I'm absolutely proud of, my Doctor Who Warp vlog of 2018. That was only a month ago. And that was the day where I met up with Colin Baker, Paul McGann, and Peter Davison. 3 doctors, 1 convention, 1 awesome day, with 2 amazing friends, Adam Time Lord Fishwick and Ice Lord 99. For me, I couldn't really have that day, but I did. I had one of the best days of my life, meeting the heroes of Doctor Who. I think I've got the photos here. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. I do have these photos. I have these photos from Warp. The photo frames. See that, guys? Katie Manning. I know. I really don't know what to say, really. People like her, she's done it all. And she goes out to every single convention, putting a smile on everyone's face. Knowing that everyone around them feels so privileged to finally meet her. And I feel like that it's probably one of the best moments, that when you meet somebody from Doctor Who and it's your first time, all you have to do is smile. And also, one of the weirdest things that happened with that photo, not sure, I'm even so embarrassed to say this right now, but when I met Katie Manning, when we did that photo shoot together, she said to me, well, I said to her, so this is my first ever, convention that I've ever been to, and this is the first ever time I've been at a convention meeting with all these famous people. And then she said to me straight away, this is her real words. She didn't lie about this. This is what she was actually saying to me. Well, at least you're not a virgin of these conventions anymore. Yeah, that's what she said. At least I'm not a virgin of conventions. So she said to me, true words, not making it on the spot. That's what she said. I've just pretty much killed myself on the channel, pretty much. No. May not. If you can't recognize him, that's the same guy who played Omega in The Three Doctors. The same person who played Omega in The Three Doctors with John Pertwee, Patrick Troughton, and William Hartnell. The 10th anniversary of Doctor Who. Wow. I mean, to be honest, we were pretty much the same heights. And you know what? If I could probably fit into his costume if I had the chance, I would have. That would have been fantastic. Now, now, I did get one photo with Stephen Thorne, Omega, and I did get another photo with Katie Manning. So, this next one. Welcome to my gallery of meeting the Doctors. First one, the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison. Right now, I think for me, my smile on that, you could see that my teeth were so white in that photo. I was a bit ashamed of how odd that looks, honestly. Sorry about that. I mean, the plastic is really just getting the it's not doing well for the video. Let me take it out so you can get a real clear look of it. And now the next one. I pretty much had the amazing day of my life meeting all those doctors. The 6th Doctor, Colin Baker. I think for me that was one of my favorite photos with him. I actually got 2, so just be careful if this does come up again, because I did get 2 of them. I got one and I got another one because it was like something weird happened on the printer and I got 2 photos instead of 1, which I'm very, very happy with. So just in case if I lose one, I've got a backup. Unless if I do give a giveaway. But then again, I don't know actually. How can I really do a giveaway when my face is with Colin Baker? Maybe if you take a photo of yourself and then basically stick your face onto my face, and then maybe that could work. I don't know. Maybe if you want that, I could do that. But I very much doubt that wouldn't look too professional on your calendar at all, or anywhere on your room. If you just cut yourself a face, or like if you took a photo of yourself, cut it out, and then stick your face onto my face, and then you could say to everyone, hey everyone, I've met Colin Baker, and then it would just see a stick photo of you just wearing a TARDIS t-shirt standing next to Colin Baker. It's like, is that Photoshop? No, I kind of cut it out and stuck my face onto Colin Baker and onto that face. So it's like, yeah, it's not really the best photo at all. Yeah, it's another repeat. And of course, can't can't stay at work, but I'm just saying hello. I'll watch this later. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. Make sure you watch this from the beginning once this live stream ends. And of course, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment down below what your entire thoughts of Rosa were of this episode. Please let me know. I'm really interested. And then finally, the man himself, a big finish, Paul McGann. Wow, I was never thinking that my day could get any better when I met the king of Big Finish, the god of Big Finish, Paul McGann. He may be the shortest doctor in his time in the 1990s, but he's definitely been the longest running doctor with big finishes, definitely. As well as with Colin Baker as well. Because Colin Baker, Paul McGann, and Pete Davidson, they've done a lot of big finishes together. So yeah, my vlog of WarpCon was fantastic. One of the best vlogs I've ever done, along with one of the vlogs that I did a year ago. You probably know the one I'm going to be talking about right now. Last year, you probably know for a fact that last year, in August, I went to the Doctor Who experience. And that was my first ever Doctor Who vlog I did for this channel. And I was so happy of how much work I put into that video. And the response from it, of course, it was to the point where the Doctor Who experience was closing for good. It was going to be shut down completely. That video right there is like the only memories I've got of that, entire video. My entire day at going to the Doctor Who experience. For me, that was one of the best moments for me as a YouTuber, to vlog the entire day, to go to the Doctor Who experience, to vlog everything. And there was one or two soundtracks that I used in that video. And I've been trying to search that on YouTube of the non-copyrighted music. I can't find that music anywhere else on YouTube. I think they kind of took it down afterwards. So that video right there was genuine. I can't really delete that video at all because it has music that I can't really find again. But also it has the content on there that I can't really delete. It's going to be one video that I'll never touch and never delete. It's just perfect for me. That's one of the best videos that I've done. Another one I'll say is we've got so many videos that I've done for this channel. I just want to say that this entire channel has just been so successful. I want to say that the entire reviews for Twice Upon a Time, the preview, the review, the Christmas moments, they were fantastic. And it was pretty much prior to the point of, Christmas time. And I'm planning to do more. So hopefully that maybe around Christmas time, there'll be a few more videos. Maybe a few more live streams. I don't know. But I'll just have to see what I can get up to. Maybe if I don't have enough time to do, say, many Christmas videos, and I'll see what I can do. I did many movie reviews of Star Wars, Black Panther. I did a London vlog, my first ever visit to London. I did that. I did the Premier League catch-up shows, which I started to stop because I pretty much got sick and tired of it, and people weren't paying interest into all of them. Then I did the throwback reviews of Series 1, which I am still going to continue with them. Don't you worry, but just I've got some of it written up for The Empty Child and the Dr. Dances, but I need another rewatch so I can really get that, video done and dusted. But honestly, I can't really do that review when Series 11 is going on. So once Series 11 is over, then I'll probably come back to it. But don't worry, I'm not leaving it for good. It's still one of the best achievements, and it's probably, I needed to get back doing more Doctor Who reviews because it was to that point that I had an entire break of 3 months not doing Doctor Who videos. And I felt so ashamed not to do an entire 2 months of not doing Doctor Who videos, and then coming back, knowing that I was going to do Doctor Who videos every single day or every single week. It felt very happy for me. And I felt like I'm back to my usual self again, honestly. So I really want to say that all of the support of all of these reviews and videos, I know that there was many well cut videos, but also I must say that the recent ones, like 5 things that I'm most worried and I'm most excited for Doctor Who Series 11, those were really good into the build up of Doctor Who Series 11. So yeah, I'm going to go scrolling back even way further then. Oh yes, my first ever live stream that I did a year ago. I did a live stream this time last year. It was my first ever live stream on YouTube, and I very much enjoyed that live stream. And now I have I have many more live streams now on the channel, and I'm so happy that I'm now getting more confidence and getting used to getting around to doing more live streams on a regular basis, like with these live stream reviews. Because honestly, with the talent that I have, I try and make sure that, say, when like an episode finishes, I write up a script, I do more editing, I try and find images and make a big, really interesting video. But you know what's even better than just a normal video like that? A live stream. So you can see my face and you can see my reactions towards that episode, towards my certain feelings about it. I can be truly honest. And I like being truly honest with myself. I don't like to face against a wall and talk pretty much and not be interactive with my viewers. You can see me. You can see the TARDIS t-shirt on my you can see the TARDIS on my shirts. But knowingly that I'm a true supporter, I'm a true lover of Doctor Who, and I know everyone is on this channel. That's because you've been watching all of my videos, and I've been so happy to the response from everyone, knowing that I try so hard to be the best I can be. And I'm so happy to have many people saying, "You're a great YouTuber, keep on going." Many other videos that I really liked, the breaking news about the 13th Doctor being revealed, again, that got a lot of views. Another one I was very proud of. This is probably the highest. This is probably the most highest in terms of views, in terms of videos. My Doctor Who DVD collection of 2017 that got over 2.k views, which I was very happy with, because I would never ever think that one of my videos was going to get over to 2,000 views. So for me, that video was just something special, and I've made more additions to my DVD collections, but I need more installments, to be honest, because I need more space on my shelves to put the DVDs in place and do another one. But I'll do that at some point when I feel like it. But that was one of the best ones that I did, really. I need to do another DVD collection. I know I did one of my VHS collection. I still got it. They still work, even to this day. So I'm very happy with all of the DVD collections I've got. And also, I must say that during the course of April last year, we did, I did Series 10. Series 10, all the previews and reviews. I managed to did a preview for Series 10 because I was at college at that time, and I was very happy to have the opportunity to do a preview and to do a review. And I was just so happy to be so involved with Series 10, because that was Peter Capaldi's final series, and I was so happy for him to review a Doctor Who series on my channel. Was just a dream come true, honestly, because I wanted to do one. I'm so happy that I've done one right now. Again, looking through the videos that I've done, now you can see that April 2017, that was the year where I started to put thumbnails on my videos, because I felt that my face, for me, I just didn't want my face to be at the center of each video. I wanted a clear and distinctive thumbnail so that everyone can see that thumbnail and think, "Oh, I'm going to watch that. I'm definitely going to watch that." So thumbnails for me definitely needed to be the highest thing for me. So that's definitely something that I'd like to be proud of. So the thumbnails, I try my best to be so creative with the thumbnails. I try and take inspirations from other people, because they've got great channels, and every single person who has a YouTube channel concerning around Doctor Who or to anything, if they make great, awesome thumbnails and great, awesome videos, then you'll consider yourself a fantastic YouTuber. Oh, LS Productions! I watched your review last night. I really enjoyed it, mate. And thanks for joining this live stream. Yeah, definitely my favorite episode of the series. I'm glad you joined. How are you anyway? And now, honestly, we're just talking through about my the greatest moments on my channel. Obviously, I've just reached now 150 subscribers on my channel, and plus, this is my first ever. Not my first ever. Sorry, cough's playing up again. I'm sorry, but this is my 2-year celebration on YouTube. This time last year, I did YouTube. And in 2016, I was thinking to myself, I've not got a chance in doing YouTube. I've got no chance. Oh, I look forward to it. Episode 4. Again, I can't remember the forgive me. Forgive me if I can't pronounce the title of episode 4. It's a strange one on me. I kind of forgot what it was called. I just really struggle with pronunciations. Even if I know Rosa's simple, Rosa's just one word, but we're just without the, Rosa Parks thing. But the thing is, it kind of makes us similar to a reference to Rose, but just it's Rosa with an A, not with the E in it, if you know what I mean. Oh, cheers, mates. Oh, thank you for it. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the shout out. I'll definitely look forward to it tonight. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. But no, honestly, just scrolling through probably much the oldest videos I've done on my channel. Oh, I must tell you, one of the most grand videos I've done on my channel, and this was back in January last year. Remember, I took myself 3 weeks off to watch the War Games, and I made an 1.5-hour review on the War Games. If you haven't seen that video, then I'll put the link in the description in this video so you can go and check it out. But if you really want to watch me review the War Games for 1.5 hours, for me, that was the biggest and the longest video I've ever done on my channel, because it's freaking 10 episodes, the War Games. And I was so happy to finally get that review out in the way and done with, because the War Games, I did an in-depth review, so you pretty much know my entire opinions. Probably back then, if you watch it now, my hair is pretty much gone a bit longer. My probably facial hair is probably grown. I probably had more spots than I did back then. Thing is with me and spots, you give me so many, like I say, thing is, when I have like spots all over my face, I can't get rid of them no matter what. It's like they stay there on my face. No matter how many face creams I use, they always seem to be there. I always want to get rid of them so much. And yet every single commercial is like, hey, this can get rid of every single spot on your face. And when I use it, it doesn't work for me. It works for other people, but doesn't for me. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I think I'm going to have spots all over my face by the time I'm 50. So pretty much I'm going to look like pretty much like an octopus by the end of my age of 50. Who knows? I really hope I don't look like that hideous when I'm 50. God, imagine me in 50 years' time. Imagine if Doctor Who is still going to be on back then. Imagine in 50 years' time Doctor Who is still alive and still existing. Who knows? I really wish Doctor Who is going to be existing for 50 years onwards, so we can have that 100 celebration of Doctor Who, which I think we'll all be there to watch. I still hope that we're all we're around our 60s or 50s when we're still watching Doctor Who, because see the 100th special of Doctor Who, that'd be something. They'll have to probably stay in charge and pretty much keep Doctor Who running until that point to make sure that we are guaranteed 100th anniversary special of Doctor Who. They need to pull something out of the bag for that to happen, surely. But no, I think but no, oh yeah, the early days of my Doctor Who marathon. Oh, it's just so great just to really no, but I'm so happy just to look through all of my Doctor Who reviews. And oh yeah, I remembered reviewing Class, and that didn't get many views. I was a bit disappointed with Class, and I didn't really like Class at all. And of course, yes, the first ever video that I did, a new beginning to my first ever YouTube channel, my first ever video that I did on YouTube. I was very grateful for all of that. And all of the praise, and people gave me so much support. And I just want to commemorate my thoughts on this entire episode, and pretty much my entire thoughts of me being on YouTube and reaching 150 subscribers, which is a fantastic achievement. I'm so happy that I've reached another milestone, because 150, I've been wanting to hit the 150 margin for ages, but now I've done that. Let's see if we can move up to 200, maybe within the next year. So let's see how this goes. And maybe we can get up to 200 or even maybe more. I'm still going to go ahead with YouTube. I'm not going to be stopping. I have people at work saying, well, you can't do YouTube and you can't do work at the same time. Well, why not? I can. Nobody says I can't. So I've got all of the rights to make videos for all of you. So I've got a lot of good opportunities to stick around on YouTube for a bit, to review Series 11, and to review more of Jodie Whittaker, because I'm loving Series 11 at the moment. For me, both of these episodes, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, The Ghost Monument, and Rosa, for me, every single episode, these 3 episodes, have been so consistent. I was so surprised of how episode 1 was fantastic. I was even more surprised of how episode 2 was even exceptional, to the same amazement of episode 1. Then coming into episode 3, I was blown away of how consistent and how awesome these 3 episodes are. These are 3 strong episodes of Series 11. I'm just so happy that they have got such of a great, strong beginning for Series 11. 3 episodes, 3 strong, bold episodes. I'm so amazed of how they've pulled that off. And I bet the viewing ratings have pretty much gone up. I mean, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, that got over 10 million views. Maybe The Ghost Monument of Rosa, that would have got maybe over 8 million. But honestly, the viewing figures are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I must say that I have to say, honestly, that The Woman Who Fell to Earth was a 9 out of 10. The Ghost Monument was a 9 out of 10. Rosa. What kind of rating do I give Rosa? For me, it has to be, and I know that I would like to give every single episode right now a 9 out of 10 so we can just stay consistent. But I'm having to go with a 10 because there was so much attention to detail. I need to stop saying that. For God's sake, Alex, don't say that word all the time. There's so much attention to detail. But no, the history was just so beautiful. Every scene was directed so well. The camera shots were incredible. The doctor had a great role. She was fantastic. Ryan, Yaz, and Graham, they were exceptional. Everyone had a role to play in this episode. We learned more about Graham. We learned more about Ryan. And we learned more from Yaz. Yasmin actually had a part to play in this episode. And I was very thankful that we finally knew something about her, of what she stood for, her crime-solving skills, Ryan's ability to handle things under pressure, even with the racism restrictions, and Graham just enjoying himself with the time travel, even if with his cancer, even with his cancer disease, he still enjoys himself. And I see that one little bit of happiness that when you have cancer, he is such of a relatable character with all the struggles that he has. He's enjoying himself no matter what. Because going back into the past, going into the future, is an amazing experience for all of them. And I don't think they should be ever more disappointed or even upset about not even, getting back home. This is an amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to visit the past, to visit the future, and to have amazing experiences so that they'll never forget. And I thought that the ending again, Rosa Parks, exceptional performance from, I can't remember who it was, Vanessa Robertson. Yes, she was just perfect. I can't pretty much say more about her character. She played Rosa Parks down to every single moment in the timeline in the 1950s. She played exceptional as Rosa Parks. 1955, the jazz music was pretty much circling around the beginning of the episode. I love the retro feel. Everything just looked so authentic. Everything just felt so retro and so awesome. Felt very historical. It just felt so authentic and so new and so unique, so distinctive that you couldn't shy away to take your eyes off this episode. And of course, the racism had a very important part. Sorry about that. Sorry. The racism was very harsh in this episode, but it definitely played to the episode's strong points. For me, the racism was harsh, yes, but was it a bad thing? No. The racism definitely signified a point in the history of Montgomery in Alabama in 1955, racism that back then was 10 times worse than it is today. And without that moment from Rosa Parks sitting down in a white passenger seat and not giving up her seat, if that moment didn't happen, racism would have been 10 times worse than it is today. So that moment was very, very crucial for the Doctor and for everyone to keep in place, to keep time, to keep history the same, so that nothing happens. Rosa Parks became an icon, a hero. I don't think that you can shy away from the fact that this was an amazing episode. She not only changed the world, she changed the universe. The bad guy was brilliant. I thought he was sneaky, he was clever, he was smart, and he couldn't kill anybody, which was a real difference, because usually when you have a bad guy, he has to kill somebody, but he couldn't. But he had to work with the things that he could make minor adjustments to the timeline so that maybe this event could not have happened. Changing the bus routes, changing Rosa's time, maybe changing the bus driver. These small little bits have so much significance to the overall history of Rosa Parks and in the 1950s. And plus, meeting Martin Luther King in a Doctor Who episode pretty much ticks the box for me, honestly. I'm a huge fan of Martin Luther King, and I think I've pretty much said all my opinions of this entire episode. The American accents were very, very distinctive. Every scene was packed full of history. The writing was just sensational. The direction was beautiful. The camera angles, the cinematography was just so gorgeous just to watch. And plus, that ending scene at the end, that music, that song at the end was pretty much groundbreaking. I don't think there could have been a song to end a Doctor Who episode like that. And I'm glad that they didn't finish the episode with the Doctor Who theme tune, because I thought that when that song played, everyone was silent. Everyone watched Rosa Parks being taken away as she was arrested. And you kind of see the realization of what she stands for, gives us something to look out for, gives us for once to be grateful for what she did. For us to have this freedom, we have to thank her for having this society that we live in today. And for the racism that is now controlled, we have to thank her. Because without that, none of this would have happened. None of the black people would have been able to live in peace with the white people, to be just trying to figure out the word. Incorrect. It's like trying to find the right word to end the episode. It's like a multicultural society. That's the word I'd use. Multicultural society. Different races, different backgrounds. Just this entire episode was just full on, packed full of flavor of history. I just love it to bits. This episode just broke so many hearts, but also it gave us so many. It actually made us tear up a bit. I actually kind of cried for a little bit. But this episode was just sensational from start to finish. I don't think this episode can be forgotten. I think this episode is one of the best historical episodes in Doctor Who's history. An episode that tackles racism so well. I don't think anyone can shadow away from the fact that Doctor Who can't take racism. But this episode showed that nothing is impossible. Doctor Who can deal with it anyway. And so, yes, that is my entire live stream review of Rosa. Please let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you kind of like it with the sort of bits with the racism, the harsh racism, or pretty much the entire episode in general? What did you like about it? Tell me your favorite moments of it. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd be very thankful if you do that. And thank you so much for supporting me on my channel. It's been a fantastic 2 years, and I look forward to many more years on YouTube. And I probably look forward to maybe gain up to over 200 subscribers. Let's see if we can do that. So that'd be a very fantastic achievement if I can do that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this live stream review. I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Until then, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Oh yeah, plus I need to get off to work soon. Can I ever get a day off? God damn it. Anyway, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time for episode 4 of Doctor Who Series 11. Don't know what the title is. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. All I know is I'll see you guys next week for my live stream review of episode 4. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.